Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Today, I want to talk about something that touches the very core of our hearts, accepting Allah's plans and finding strength in His wisdom. Life often does not unfold the way we imagine. We plan, we strive, we hope, yet sometimes doors close, paths twist, and dreams seem delayed. It is in these moments of uncertainty, these trials and detours, that our faith is tested. And it is in surrendering to the one who knows best, in accepting His divine plan with patience and trust, that we discover the secret to rising above our struggles. Because when we place our hearts in Allah's hands, even the heaviest burdens become light, and every setback becomes a step towards our true purpose. Today, I want to speak to you about something that touches the very core of our hearts. The idea of trusting Allah's timing and embracing His divine plan. It is a concept that is simple in words but profound in practice, and it has the power to transform despair into hope, struggle into growth, and uncertainty into peace. In our lives, we often find ourselves planning, striving, and hoping for outcomes that we believe will bring us happiness or fulfillment. We set goals, dream of certain paths, and imagine the future in vivid detail. And yet, despite all our efforts, life does not always unfold the way we expect. We may face delays, obstacles, or circumstances that seem beyond our control. We may feel that our prayers are unanswered, that doors are closed, or that the path we hoped for has been blocked. In these moments, it is natural for the heart to feel restless, for the mind to question, and for the soul to seek answers. But it is precisely in these moments that the lesson of trusting Allah's timing becomes most crucial. Trusting Allah's timing begins with acknowledging a fundamental truth, that Allah's knowledge is perfect and His wisdom encompasses all things. While we see only fragments of our lives, He sees the entirety of our existence, past, present, and future. He knows what is best for us, even when we cannot understand it. When we attempt to control every detail, we limit ourselves to our narrow perspective, forgetting that there is a greater plan at work. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Baqarah, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. 2:21-6. These words are not merely guidance. They are a source of comfort and reassurance. They remind us that our inability to see the full picture does not diminish the perfection of His plan. One of the greatest challenges in trusting Allah's timing is patience. We live in a world that values instant results, immediate gratification, and constant control. Yet, the heart of faith lies in patience. Sabr. Patience is not passive waiting. It is an active, conscious decision to surrender our desires and timelines to the one who knows best. It is a recognition that the detours, delays, and difficulties we encounter are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. Patience allows the heart to rest, even when the mind questions. It allows the soul to find peace, even in uncertainty. When we cultivate patience, we learn to release our insistence on controlling every outcome, and in doing so, we make space for divine wisdom to work in our lives. Consider the story of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. He faced betrayal, imprisonment, and years of uncertainty. Every step of his journey seemed filled with hardship and injustice. Yet through patience, trust, and unwavering faith, Allah elevated him to a position of honor and influence far beyond what he could have imagined. The beauty of his story is not only in the eventual triumph, but in the journey itself. The lessons learned, the character built, and the soul refined along the way. Similarly, our own struggles, when met with faith and patience, can become pathways to growth, strength, and deeper connection with Allah. Trusting Allah's timing also requires humility. We must recognize that our understanding is limited, our knowledge is partial, and our vision is narrow. We may plan meticulously, work diligently, and pray earnestly, yet the outcome may differ from our expectations. In these moments, humility allows us to surrender our ego, release our insistence on control, and embrace the reality that Allah's plan is infinitely wiser than our own. Humility transforms frustration into acceptance and resistance into trust. It reminds us that the true measure of success is not always in the immediate results, but in the alignment of our hearts with divine will. Another aspect of trusting Allah's timing is gratitude. Gratitude does not come only when everything goes our way. It comes even in the midst of trials, setbacks, and uncertainty. By recognizing the blessings we already have, we cultivate a perspective that sees goodness in every circumstance. Gratitude allows us to appreciate the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. It is a practice that strengthens our faith, uplifts our spirit, and deepens our connection with Allah. When we are grateful for what we have, even when life is challenging, we acknowledge that Allah's wisdom is greater than our understanding and that every moment is an opportunity for spiritual growth. It is also essential to remember that trusting Allah's timing does not mean inaction. Faith is not passivity. Rather, it is a balance between effort and reliance, between doing our best and leaving the rest to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Tie your camel and then trust in Allah." This beautiful teaching illustrates that we are responsible for our efforts, yet the results are in Allah's hands. By working diligently, setting intentions, and striving for excellence, we fulfill our part of the journey. By trusting in Allah, we release the anxiety of results, the fear of uncertainty, and the burden of control. It is in this balance that peace emerges, a serenity that comes not from avoiding challenges, but from embracing them with faith. Trusting Allah's timing also teaches us resilience. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are inevitable. Yet when we understand that these challenges are part of a divine plan, we begin to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Every difficulty carries a lesson, every delay holds a purpose, and every closed door can lead to a greater opening. Resilience is cultivated not by avoiding hardship, but by embracing it with faith, learning from it, and rising stronger each time. When we trust Allah's plan, we see that even what appears as failure may be a stepping stone towards success. Even what seems like loss may be a preparation for greater blessings, and even what feels like delay may be a divine pause for growth. Consider the seasons of life. Just as the earth goes through cycles of planting, growth, harvest, and rest, so too do our lives follow rhythms beyond our control. We cannot force flowers to bloom before their time, nor can we rush the ripening of fruit. In the same way, our dreams, goals, and aspirations have their own seasons, guided by divine timing. By accepting this natural rhythm, by trusting in Allah's plan, we align ourselves with a flow that brings peace, fulfillment, and growth. Impatience, on the other hand, leads to frustration, anxiety, and a constant sense of lack. When we embrace divine timing, we learn to navigate life with grace, patience, and trust. Another profound aspect of trusting Allah's timing is hope. Hope is the light that keeps the heart moving forward, even when the path is unclear. It is the belief that no matter how difficult the present moment may be, Allah's plan is unfolding in a way that is ultimately good for us. Hope allows us to rise above despair, to continue striving, and to maintain faith in the face of uncertainty. The Quran beautifully reminds us, indeed, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. 13:11. This verse teaches us that while divine timing governs the unfolding of events, our hearts, intentions, and actions are integral to our journey. By nurturing hope, patience, and trust, we become active participants in a plan far greater than we can comprehend. Trusting Allah's timing also strengthens our spiritual connection. When we surrender our desires, timelines, and expectations to Allah, we create space for our hearts to be filled with His presence. Prayer, reflection, and remembrance become not just rituals, but lifelines that guide us through uncertainty. Each moment of surrender deepens our awareness of Allah's mercy, wisdom, and love. It is in these moments of trust that the soul finds peace, the heart finds contentment, and the spirit rises above worldly anxieties. As we reflect on trusting Allah's timing, let us also remember that it is a lifelong practice. It is not a one-time decision, but a continuous journey of faith. Each day presents new challenges, opportunities, and lessons in surrender. Each moment invites us to let go of control, release our anxieties, and embrace divine wisdom. And as we practice this trust, we begin to notice a transformation within ourselves, a quiet strength, a resilient heart, and a spirit that rises above fear and doubt. In conclusion, though truly there is no finality in a journey of faith, trusting Allah's timing is not merely about waiting, it is about embracing life with patience, humility, gratitude, resilience, and hope. It is about recognizing that every detour has a purpose, every delay carries a lesson, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. When we surrender our hearts to Allah, we discover that even the heaviest burdens can become light, and even the most uncertain paths can lead to blessings beyond our imagination. Trusting His timing allows us to rise, not just in success or achievement, but in faith, character, and spiritual strength. It is a rise that is lasting, meaningful, and eternal. Alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Today, I want to speak about a truth that touches the very fabric of our existence, that every hardship carries a hidden lesson and every closed door leads to a greater opening. Life is rarely a straight path. We often imagine that success, happiness, and fulfillment will arrive according to our plans, our timing, and our understanding. Yet the reality of life is far more complex. We encounter setbacks, disappointments, delays, and challenges that test not only our patience, but our very faith. And it is precisely in these moments, when life seems to defy our expectations, that we are invited to embrace Allah's plan with trust, humility, and hope. Understanding that hardship is part of a divine design is not always easy. When a dream is delayed, when a goal seems unreachable, or when a door closes unexpectedly, it is natural for the heart to ache and the mind to question. Yet, these moments are not signs of abandonment or divine displeasure. They are opportunities for growth, for refinement, and for alignment with the wisdom of Allah. Who knows what is best for us even when we cannot see it? Allah reminds us in the Quran, do not grieve. Indeed, Allah is with us. 9:40. This is not merely a comforting statement. It is a promise, a reminder that we are never alone, even in our most difficult moments. Every closed door, every delay, and every apparent setback carries a purpose. It is easy to view hardship as punishment or misfortune, but a deeper understanding reveals that trials are a means of purification and preparation. Life's challenges are like the refining of gold. Only through the fire of difficulty is impurity removed, leaving strength, resilience, and beauty behind. When we encounter hardship and respond with faith, patience, and gratitude, we allow our character to be refined, our hearts to be softened, and our spirits to grow stronger. Take, for example, the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. From the loss of his parents as a child, to the persecution he faced in his mission, to the struggles in guiding a community with patience and wisdom, he faced immense trials. Yet in every challenge, there was a purpose. Each difficulty was a step towards shaping a character that was resilient, compassionate, and wise. And through those trials, Allah's plan unfolded perfectly, ultimately leading to the guidance of humanity. Similarly, our personal trials are shaping us, often in ways we do not immediately recognize, and preparing us for blessings we have yet to receive. Embracing Allah's plan means cultivating resilience. Resilience is not merely enduring hardship, it is growing through it. It is learning to rise again and again, despite setbacks. Every challenge is a lesson. Every delay a divine pause, and every difficulty a preparation for something greater. When we face trials with patience and trust, we build a foundation that cannot be shaken by life's uncertainties. This resilience is a spiritual gift. It transforms pain into strength, fear into faith, and frustration into growth. Patience, or sabr, is central to embracing Allah's plan. Life rarely unfolds on our schedule. We want immediate answers, quick solutions, and instant results. Yet the wisdom of Allah's timing is perfect. Each delay, each detour, and each test is part of a plan that is more comprehensive than our understanding. The Quran tells us, and be patient. For indeed, Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. 11:11:5. Patience is not passive waiting. It is an active, conscious surrender to Allah's wisdom, combined with persistent effort. It is the trust that even when we cannot see the end, the path we are on is guided by divine wisdom. Acceptance of Allah's plan also brings gratitude. Gratitude is not only for blessings that are obvious, but also for the unseen benefits hidden in trials. When a door closes, it may be preventing harm or guiding us towards something better. When we face difficulty, it may be teaching us lessons of patience, humility, or reliance on Allah. Gratitude allows us to see beyond immediate circumstances and recognize the intricate care in Allah's design. By being grateful, even in hardship, our hearts are softened, our spirits lifted, and our faith deepened. Consider the story of Prophet Ayub, peace be upon him, who faced immense trials, losing his wealth, health, and family. Yet, through unwavering patience, gratitude, and trust in Allah, he remained steadfast. His trials were not in vain. They were a path to divine reward, a means of teaching profound lessons about endurance, faith, and reliance on Allah. Similarly, our trials, no matter how difficult, can be stepping stones toward growth, spiritual elevation, and closeness to our Creator. It is important to recognize that embracing Allah's plan does not mean resignation. Faith is not passivity. It is the delicate balance of effort and surrender, of striving in the best way we can while trusting that Allah will guide the results. As the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Tie your camel and then trust in Allah." This means we are responsible for our actions, our intentions, and our efforts, but we must place the outcomes in Allah's hands. When we act with sincerity and diligence while trusting Allah, we navigate life with confidence, purpose, and serenity. Every setback carries a lesson, even if it is not immediately clear. It may teach humility, reminding us that we are not in control. It may cultivate compassion, allowing us to empathize with others in their struggles. It may build perseverance, showing us the strength we possess when tested. These lessons are not always easy to recognize in the moment, but with reflection, prayer, and trust, we begin to see the hidden wisdom in every experience. Moreover, every challenge is an opportunity for renewal. Closed doors often redirect us to open windows we could not have imagined. Delays may allow us to prepare for greater opportunities. Losses may lead to deeper appreciation for what remains. By embracing Allah's plan, we learn to see setbacks not as endpoints, but as transitions, moments that shape us, guide us, and bring us closer to our purpose. The concept of divine timing is also a call to humility. We must accept that our understanding is limited and our perception of what is best is often incomplete. By surrendering our vision to Allah, we acknowledge His infinite wisdom. We recognize that our temporary discomfort may be part of a greater plan that is unfolding perfectly, even if we cannot yet comprehend it. Humility allows us to let go of frustration, resentment, and impatience, replacing them with trust, hope, and serenity. Embracing Allah's plan strengthens our spiritual connection. When we face difficulties, when life does not go as expected, and when we encounter challenges, our hearts turn naturally to Allah. Prayer, remembrance, and reflection become lifelines, guiding us through uncertainty and filling us with peace. Every moment of surrender deepens our reliance on Allah, strengthens our faith, and cultivates a heart that is resilient, hopeful, and content. Hope is a crucial companion on this journey. Hope is not wishful thinking. It is the confident expectation that Allah's wisdom prevails. that every trial has a purpose, and that every delay leads to something better. Hope allows us to rise above despair, continue striving, and maintain faith even when the path is unclear. The Quran beautifully reassures us, indeed, with hardship comes ease. 94:6, this verse reminds us that no trial is permanent, no difficulty is without resolution, and that Allah's plan is inherently balanced with mercy, relief, and blessings. Every hardship also provides an opportunity for self-reflection. By examining our reactions, our intentions, and our reliance on Allah, we gain insight into our own hearts. Challenges reveal our strengths, expose our weaknesses, and invite us to grow spiritually, emotionally, and morally. When we approach hardship with awareness and reflection, we transform difficulties into opportunities for personal and spiritual development. Finally, embracing Allah's plan teaches us that true success is measured not by worldly outcomes, but by faith, character, and closeness to Allah. Success is not merely achieving a goal, but rising above despair, cultivating resilience, and maintaining trust in the divine plan. When we measure life through the lens of faith, every challenge becomes a lesson, every delay a preparation, and every closed door a redirection toward greater blessings. In conclusion, though the journey of faith is continuous and without finality, every hardship carries a hidden lesson, and every closed door leads to a greater opening. By embracing Allah's plan, by practicing patience, gratitude, resilience, and hope, we cultivate hearts that rise above despair and spirits that soar above setbacks. Our challenges are not signs of abandonment, but invitations to growth, preparation, and divine closeness. By trusting Allah's wisdom, surrendering with love, and seeking His guidance, we learn that setbacks are not the end, delays are not failures, and closed doors are merely steps toward greater opportunities. Embracing Allah's plan allows us to rise in faith, strength, and purpose, experiencing a peace and fulfillment that transcends the trials of this world and touches the soul deeply. I want to speak about a profound truth that can transform the way we navigate life. That rising above life's setbacks requires surrendering with love, not just with resignation. True acceptance of Allah's plan is not a passive act. It is a conscious alignment of our hearts with divine wisdom, a surrender that is both active and full of trust. It is in this surrender that the soul finds freedom, the heart finds peace, and the spirit rises above fear, doubt, and despair. In a world that often equates control with security, learning to truly surrender can feel both challenging and revolutionary. Yet, it is precisely through surrender that we discover strength, clarity, and a deeper connection with our Creator. To surrender with love is to recognize that Allah's knowledge surpasses our understanding. We often cling to plans, outcomes, and timelines, believing that we know what is best for our lives. Yet, the reality is that our vision is limited and our understanding is finite. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, sees the entirety of our existence, past, present, and future. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and it may be that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. 2:21:6. These words are not simply guidance. They are a promise that even when life feels uncertain, confusing, or painful, Allah's plan is perfect. Surrendering with love means trusting that His wisdom is greater than our desires, our fears, and our expectations. Life's setbacks can take many forms. They may come as delays in achieving a goal, losses that feel unbearable, or challenges that test our patience and faith. When these moments arrive, the heart often reacts with frustration, anger, or sorrow. Yet, surrender with love invites us to respond differently, not with resistance, but with acceptance rooted in faith. It is an active choice to release our attachment to outcomes and to trust in Allah's perfect plan. By doing so, we transform the energy of struggle into a source of growth, the weight of disappointment into a stepping stone toward resilience, and the pain of loss into an opportunity for spiritual elevation. Consider the example of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, who faced unimaginable trials, including the command to sacrifice his beloved son. In that moment, he could have succumbed to fear, doubt, or despair, yet through absolute surrender and trust in Allah's plan, he rose above the pain and uncertainty, demonstrating unwavering faith and love for his Creator. This story teaches us that true rise is not measured by the absence of difficulty, but by the ability to surrender fully and faithfully, trusting that Allah's plan encompasses both mercy and wisdom. Rising above setbacks also requires patience or sabr. Patience is not merely enduring hardship. It is an intentional, conscious act of perseverance and trust. It is the recognition that every trial has a purpose, even when it is hidden from our eyes. Patience allows us to navigate life with serenity, to approach challenges with clarity, and to maintain faith even when circumstances seem overwhelming. The Quran reminds us, "O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient." 2:15-3 Patience is not passive waiting. It is an active engagement with life, rooted in the trust that every moment, every setback, and every delay is guided by divine wisdom. Surrendering with love also involves humility. It is the acknowledgement that we are not the ultimate architects of our lives. We are limited in knowledge, perspective, and foresight. Humility allows us to release our insistence on control, to let go of resentment or frustration, and to embrace the reality that Allah's plan is infinitely greater than our own. By practicing humility, we cultivate hearts that are soft, receptive, and aligned with divine guidance. We learn to see setbacks not as punishment or failure, but as opportunities for growth, refinement, and preparation for the blessings that lie ahead. Another vital aspect of rising above setbacks is gratitude. Gratitude is not reserved for moments of ease, success, or comfort. It is cultivated even in hardship. When we face challenges with a grateful heart, we shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from despair to hope, and from resistance to acceptance. Gratitude allows us to recognize the hidden wisdom in every trial, the lessons embedded in every difficulty, and the potential for growth in every obstacle. By cultivating gratitude, we transform setbacks into sources of insight, patience, and spiritual strength. Surrendering with love does not mean inaction. Faith is not passivity. It is a dynamic balance between effort and reliance, action and trust. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Tie your camel and then trust in Allah." This teaching beautifully illustrates that while we are responsible for our actions, intentions, and efforts, the results belong to Allah. By acting with sincerity and diligence while trusting in divine wisdom, we navigate life with confidence, purpose, and peace. True rise comes not from forcing outcomes, but from aligning our efforts with faith, surrender, and trust. Resilience is another key dimension of rising above setbacks. Life's challenges are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our growth and character. Resilience is cultivated when we approach difficulty with faith, reflection, and surrender. Every setback teaches us lessons about patience, perseverance, empathy, and reliance on Allah. Every closed door encourages creativity, adaptation, and trust. Every disappointment invites self-reflection, spiritual growth, and deepened reliance on the Creator. Through resilience, we transform hardship into strength, fear into courage, and uncertainty into clarity. Hope is an inseparable companion on this journey. True hope is rooted in faith, not wishful thinking. It is the conviction that Allah's plan is perfect, that every setback carries meaning, and that every delay serves a purpose. Hope allows us to continue striving, to rise above despair, and to maintain trust even when the path is unclear. The Quran reassures us, so truly where there is hardship, there is also ease. 94:6, this verse is a promise that no challenge is permanent, no trial is without resolution, and that every difficulty is accompanied by relief, blessing, and divine wisdom. Surrendering with love also deepens our connection with Allah. When we release control, trust His